Namaskaram and good evening. I'm making this video a little late, and as you can see, I've been holified. Tonight is starting last night, going into tonight is a big Hindu festival celebration called Holi, and it overlapped with a total lunar eclipse of the full blood worm moon. And so it's quite, I think even the peak of the full moon was at the same time, sorry, getting a message there, was at the same time as the totality of the eclipse. So very auspicious. Holi, just in a nutshell, we celebrate that as Hindus for two reasons. One, it's to celebrate Radha and Krishna smearing each other with all these different colored powders, paints. I believe the story went that Radha was questioning why her skin was a different skin color than Krishna, who is blue, and she had typical, like, more of the Indian, complexion. And so, the adults said, well, start smearing each other with these powders, colored powders and whatnot. And by the end of the day, no one's going to know, when you look at each other, what colors, what. You're just going to be a hodgepodge of all these colors. And then the other reason why we celebrate Holi, because it's actually named after a demoness. We're not celebrating the demoness. A lot of people think that Hindus worship demons. Complete misinformation and slander, to be honest. So there was once a devotee of Vishnu who was born into an Asura family. Lack of better words, English words, would be a demon. So his father was a demon king and hated the fact that Prahlad, his son, was very devoted to Vishnu, the preserver. And so he got so mad one time that he ordered his sister, who had a boon where she could never be burned, to sit in a bonfire with Prahlad on her lap. So she should have come out unscathed, right? Well, no, Prahlad just goes to praying to Vishnu, pouring in his pure bhakti or devotion. And guess who came out okay? It was Prahlad. Devotion beat out her boon. Eventually she burned. That girl dead. She didn't come back. So, sorry about all the dings. But that kind of runs into what I was going to talk about tonight, which was red flag number 9, integrity, or lack of integrity. So I'm going to make this pretty quick, but integrity is, I think, a good umbrella term, and it can incorporate a lot of different things, and it can probably vary from person to person, of course, but I think there are a lot of things that we can agree on, like honesty, transparency, taking accountability, being respectful towards others. Having a backbone and sticking up for your morals and your beliefs and not selling it out, not selling yourself out. And so I think, I've made videos on especially honesty, transparency, and taking accountability. And what I'm going to say is that it should be pretty obvious, right? If you're getting to know somebody and they say that they're going to be honest and transparent with you, but then down the road they stop doing that. They start omitting things. They start, blurring the truth. If they're outright lying, and hiding some sort of betrayal against you or your relationship, right? Then they lack integrity. Just plain and simple. I'm not trying to say, oh, this person's evil and they're so bad, but with you for some reason and at this time, they're not doing great. And so, especially in that department or in multiple departments. And I'm going to recap this after I finish, the top 10 red flags. But usually, if a person is demonstrating one red flag, there's at least going to be another one, at least another one. But you can see where I'm going. If they can't be honest, they can't be transparent with you, they can't take accountability for their wrongdoings or their mistakes or their shortcomings, chances are, there's going to be betrayal of some sort down the road. They're going to blame shift, they're going to deflect, they're going to project. So that's why when you see one red flag, you really need to be on high alert, right? Like, you really need to be on high alert there, because more than likely others will follow suit. So, and it's kind of like in medicine, it's not uncommon that if you have one autoimmune disease, you might have another one, or you're going to have other comorbidities, like other diseases or pathologies that will coincide with it. So it's very similar when it comes to red flags, right? So the taking accountability thing is huge, very huge. So if they can't be honest and transparent and then take accountability when either they've been caught, doing something wrong or hurtful or disrespectful, then chances are they're going to blame shift, deflect, project, right? And the betrayal, right, whatever you feel like crossed the major boundary, they could, if they cheated on you, or they stole things or money from you, or like slandered your name and lied about you and all these things, then you have to just consider that they're probably not behaving well all around. So it's a good idea to really pay attention to those red flags and their integrity. The other thing that I was giving as an example is how they treat other people. You need to watch that. So maybe in the beginning, they're treating you well, with respect, they're love bombing you, they never have a cross word with you, or start an argument. But if they're treating random people, like in restaurants or in the public, pretty poorly, disrespectfully, then what do you think might happen down the road if you ever do something that offends them, right? Like, even if it's a small thing, do you honestly think that that's going to go down well? Probably not. And they might just be showing you that face until they secure something with you, they get something out of you maybe, or they're done using you. So please pay attention to those red flags, but their integrity, of their character, of their behaviors. So again, like I've said, the reality, pay attention to that, how they really are, right? How they're behaving, not just lip service, but how they're acting and behaving, their opinions and perspectives, right? And then do not conflate that and mix that up with their potential or how maybe they were way in the past. Because if they're starting to cross your boundaries or even just poke and prod at the boundary line, right, chances are maybe you turned a blind eye to, maybe they weren't red flags, you didn't honestly think they were red flags in the beginning, but they were orange or yellow, and now they're becoming red. And that's when you really need to reinforce those boundaries, respect yourself, love yourself, pull back, reassess the situation, give them a chance, right? Like, to observe from a distance, like how they're going to continue on forward with you. Are they going to respect you? Are they going to like call themselves out? Like, you know what, you're right. I am crossing some boundaries here. I'm being disrespectful. I'm sorry. Let me try that again. So, give them a chance. It's up to you, right? And all of this, folks, I have a lot of insight, I feel, and advice, but you got to do what's best for you at the end of the day. And that's why I always say, please introspect, reflect, process, digest, find your inner strength, find your inner tuition, and not just reactionary, knee-jerk, fears and anxiety to operate off of. All that will allow you to step into your higher self and figure out what is best for me, right? That's the whole point of this, is I don't know what's best for you, right? Only you do in the end. It is helpful to take advice from other people, especially if you're seeing like a therapist, a psychiatrist, or whatever. Like, you're there for a reason, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. So just at the same time, though, they should be guiding you to a conclusion that you feel is best for you and doesn't hurt yourself or other people around you, right? So always confer with, your people. But I think I'm just trying to promote self-growth here and watching out for those red flags, because we really like to turn a blind eye to those things. So watch out for integrity, okay? Are they being transparent? Are they being honest with you? And I'm talking about not just the big things, but all the way down to the smaller things too, because if they do that consistently, like omitting, hiding, lying about small things, there's a possibility it's going to work its way up to bigger things. And do they take accountability? Right? That is huge. Because if they don't, you're going to probably run into disappointment and disaster if something big ever comes up. Right? Because then they'll end up blame shifting, deflecting, projecting, outright lying, all that. Whitewashing and gaslighting you, all that stuff. So I say, please pay attention to that. Don't rush into things. It's easy for us to get carried away in the moment with certain hormone productions and thinking with our little brains, or even just feeling really optimistic about a business partnership or a deal. Okay. So just pump the brakes, take a bird's eye view, look at everything. Don't take too much of a reductionist point of view where you're just, focusing on one thing at a time. Like, take it all in. Okay. I'm going to end it here, keeping it shorter today. But anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I hope that the eclipse and the transitioning away from the full moon brings in new opportunities for you for growth, self-discovery, and that holy, like, you just remember, good always triumphs over evil, right? And to celebrate, like, it's kind of like Love is Blind, kind of like with the Krishna story. And it's just, yeah, like, find the ways that we are similar. Someone actually told me that today. Like, that was a really good point. Like, don't focus on the differences, focus on how we're similar, and have joy in your heart. True joy, not distractions, but true joy, where you accept that life is a mix of everything from, bad to great, okay, and a whole lot of other stuff in between. And when you can accept all that, you have true joy. When you're connected to your higher self and your intuition, you're connected to God. That's true joy. All right. Blessings to you all. Good luck to you all. And I will make red flag number 10 tomorrow. Take care.